What's up, buddy?
You done watching Britney suck off Sneeko?
I'm watching this in a very neutral manner. Okay, so I don't know what you mean by that. This has been an exemplary interview so far.
I just didn't realize that fellatio was allowed on Rumble.
Okay, these are Abba's words, not mine. To be clear.
But fine, I would say it to Britney's face too, so I really don't care. I think she fellatioed him after that whole incident, and now she's engaging in Muslim jizya right in front of her eyes.
Okay, well,
But anyways,
yeah.
that's not why I'm here. I want to ask you a question, separate question. Do you think that in defense of property, it's acceptable to potentially kill someone? And if
Hell
so,
yeah.
can you qualify what those circumstances are?
I think the ones that we roughly settled on was that, like, if you're in a society where you roughly understand that people, like, you have to understand that people own the property, you probably have to have some understanding that lethal force is possible, that somebody's going to defend their property, and then you probably have to be, like, to some extent, an agent that understands their decisions. That if these qualifications are met, then somebody probably has the right to defend their property, escalating up to and including, like, death. Yeah.
Gotcha. So when you say property, like what would be property that you wouldn't think is acceptable to want to defend?
Whatever you fucking own, but we'll say like house and car for now.
Okay, so like more higher in terms of like monetary value, not necessarily. Like if it's a ring, for example, or something like that.
There, like, I could see an argument being made for that, but we'll stick to those ones for now because the edge case is going to be hard. Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. I want to ask you. There's a we covered this recently, but there's like a group of pranksters who run around trying to grab people.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Yeah, to grab people's groceries and run off with them or whatever, and then they always end up getting in fights. And then there's one person who recently went to an airport and tried to steal people's luggage and be like, "That's my luggage," and like start a whole altercation. And then one person ended up getting arrested because of the whole altercation. Do you feel like there's anything inherently wrong about some of the behavior that they're doing with these pranks potentially? Without seeing it, obviously, I know you haven't seen it, so you'd have to get more context.
I would have to see it, but like, I mean, if you want to do a prank like that, I think, like, knock yourself out, but you better be wearing Kevlar. Like, if somebody like took action against somebody doing shit like that, I wouldn't sit there and I'd be like, yeah, that's about what you'd expect to happen. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I think Jadion took exception with some of my words because I was like, man, yo, fuck these kids. I don't care if they get shot, which is it's pretty aggressive. I ain't even gonna lie, but I keep thinking to myself, like, you're grabbing people's stuff, especially like the luggage one is wild because airports spending
You're
a lot of
already
time
like super high stress. You're already worried about, like, yeah, airport is probably the worst place to fuck with somebody ever. Like, you're better off doing it in the fucking ER. Okay, the airport is the worst place to catch somebody and fuck with somebody. Yeah.
Bro, I be getting anxiety every time. Like I got to go pick up my luggage from like the ramp thing, and it's taking forever. Thinking about somebody taking my shit and trying to run off with it, I would losing my mind. So I just see these kinds of pranks, and like I don't know. I basically just said, listen, I think some of these guys got to die so that people stop doing this kind of dumb
Jesus
shit.
Christ.
I'm dead ass. I don't even think that. I don't know if it's that extreme, but I'm seeing the YouTube trend of like really fragrant and like crazy stuff. There's one guy who recently got arrested on like terroristic threats because they were fucking with this grocery store guy.
Jesus.
And they were taking his hat and like taunting him and shit. And then the police ended up charging them. I don't know. I'm just seeing a trend of like YouTube pranksters who obviously doing stuff that's clearly illegal. And there's a part of me that's like, I don't know if the rhetoric I'm engaging in is good, but I feel like it's amazing.
I mean, people get like really mad because they always look at like, people always look at the they'll look at the extreme side of the self-defense. They're gonna be like, oh, so people are gonna be killing each other over like trying to break into somebody's car or walking in their yard or some shit, right? Like, people will say stuff like that, and it's like, okay, that is the extreme side of my argument, sure, but then the extreme side of your argument is everybody's just running around stealing shit for fun and like funny because they know that there's not gonna be any serious repercussions. Like, I'd rather the one where people are getting executed for trespassing somebody's yard than the world where everybody's just infinitely stealing from everybody else because they know there's no real repercussion for it.
Whoa, you see trespassing in someone's yard, like executed?
Well, that's like the most extreme version of like the self-defense argument, right? Well, what if they're breaking into their house? Okay, well, what about they're not breaking their house? What if they're climbing your fence or whatever? That'll be where they'll go. Like, okay, well, what about, like, I think for Pisco, his argument is, what if somebody tries to steal a blade of grass from you? Would you defend that? And like, principally, you're kind of sort of say like, yeah, I guess you could defend that. But then on their end, like their extremist side is like, people should be able to just infinitely run around and steal from everybody else, knowing as long as you're fast enough and you can run, there's no repercussion ever. You should be able to steal whatever you want because nobody should ever be able to use lethal force against you, which I think is wrong. But
yeah. I mean, I can understand the concern with like some extreme forms of this because we recently saw a whole bunch of state cases of mistaken identity shootings over the past weekend.
For sure.
Like the kid who rang the doorbell of the wrong house, apparently, and then he got blasted through the door. Like that seems kind of crazy to me.
For sure.
Yeah. All right. What about there's someone beside you? How does she feel about killing people? You're into that stuff?
I'm so sorry. Summarize what he said. I was trying to understand this game.
Why are you reading my game? He's talking about like, do you think that if somebody's like trying to, let's say that you're in LAX, somebody runs up to you to steal your purse, and you're like, don't do it, and they run after you to take your purse. Let's say you have a gun on you. Do you think you should be able to kill that person to keep them from taking your purse?
No.
So they should just get to
I
take
think
it?
self-defense only applies if they're enacting like physical harm on you, right?
Okay. Don't say right. That's your opinion, not mine, okay?
Yeah.
Cringe.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that was all for me. I just wanted to ask about that. But you guys can go back to watching Fellatio.
That's Abba's words, not mine, okay?
All right. Peace.
Bye. All right, bye. Remember to hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell so that my videos show up right in your feed.